Hello, everybody. This is another installment of the This Is Somebody conversation series, and I am the host, Stacy. And my guest today is the incomparable Ebele. I'm so excited to talk to you. Well, first tell everyone where you're calling in from.
I'm calling it. My body is in London.
Excellent.
So that's where I'm calling from. My body and my mouth.
Where's your heart?
Oh, my heart is everywhere.
That is, you gave me goosebumps. That is lovely. That is lovely. Let me tell you, I'm so excited to talk to you because there is this, no one's talking about stretch marks, first of all. Not only are people not talking about stretch marks, it's like that thing that people are always trying to keep in the dark, like they don't have them. Like people have equated stretch marks to mean that it means you're fat or you're out of shape or there's something wrong with your body, as if it's not like a natural thing. So I love your message. I love that you are making it okay and giving people permission, because that is a struggle. And that's a struggle that has nothing to do with size, because even, people that would be considered like a normal body type or within their BMI index or whatever the stuff is, even those people get stretch marks. So tell me how you came to do this work and why it's so important to you, and also about your own body shame journey.
Oh, first off, I don't think you can hide the light.
Right?
Yeah. It becomes a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it can be hid. And there's also a shame around, if you're quote unquote a normal size, you shouldn't have stretch marks. So there's a shame around that as well. Yeah. And there's a shame around, if you're not a mother and you have stretch marks, there's a shame around that. So there's shame around if you're a mother, if you're not a mother, if you're a normal size, if you're not a normal size, like there's a shame attached to every single should and shouldn't.
That is so
kind
true.
Of thing. But you can't hide the light. I don't believe it's possible to hide the light.
I agree. That's a very important distinction, actually.
Because morning's always going to come.
Yep.
So
no matter how much moisturizing you do, there's this thing like you're supposed to like lube up your skin so much to keep stretch marks away.
Stretch marks have their own agenda, their own love agenda. So they're going to do what they're going to do. Like, yeah, you can do what you want to do. We're going to do what we're going to do, because we're like team love,
right?
Team up, team beauty, team enoughness. So, yeah.
Excellent. So how did you decide to make this your mission? How did that happen?
Well, I've always been into women's empowerment. Not always that, not from the time I was born, but I was born by a woman, so that is women's empowerment.
Right.
I'm a Gemini, by the way, so I go off on tangents and I waffle a bit, and so yeah. Then from there, I started writing about the body, because I'm interested in the glittered commas that make our bodies unique. So grey hair, stretch marks, chipped nails. What else? Breasts that speak eloquence, gravity, freckles, red hair. I'm interested in I see the beauty in those glittered commas, and I've been interested in that for quite a while. So about 2 years ago, 2013? 2013, I decided that, because I'd been writing a bit about stretch marks anyway, so it's not like 2013 came and boom, but I've been writing about it a bit. I've been celebrating it whenever I wrote, whatever I wrote. But come 2013, I thought to myself, okay, let's do something. Let's do something about this. So I started, a couple of weeks before that, I started writing in celebration of stretch marks on my Facebook timeline. I'd been doing that for a couple of weeks, and then it kind of all came together, and I thought, you know what? I wonder who wants to receive daily emails in celebration of their stretch marks. So I put it out there. Some people were interested. And I started doing that. And then it picked up from there. I thought, okay, how about I set up a website called Love Notes for Your Stretch Marks.
Yes.
And with that, what happened was I was writing a love note. It started as a small project where every day for 100 days, I'd write a love note and I'd post it on the website. And then I'd take the love note down and then post the next day. So whoever was interested, every day they'd see a different note. But it was over 100 days because I really do believe in the power of repetition. Mm-hmm. Whether it's negative or positive, they both have power, but the difference between the two is choice. Mm-hmm. So I did that for 100 days and I thought to myself, okay, where do we go from here? So I set up the first Facebook page. I thought, okay, the website is going to be like posting the 100 notes and just to keep on going, just keep going. And now I have over 300 love notes.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations to you for being consistent, because sometimes that's the hardest piece, right?
Oh, it's not easy.
So congratulations.
It's not easy.
That is amazing. And tell me how people have been receiving your love notes. Like what's like the response you've been getting?
It's for who it's for, regardless of whether they fight against it or accept it.
Yes.
Like, because I find that even if some people raise their eyebrows, like you're celebrating stretch marks, it's still something, it's still communication. Something different is happening, even if they don't accept it, and they might never accept it, but at least I have interrupted their thought process and whatever they've internalized. I've interrupted that for like a millisecond.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. That's amazing.
So, thank you, sis. So I've had a mixture of reactions, but like, you know, even if it changes one person or if it makes one person think differently, then my work is done, because it's for one person, and then one person times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5. So I've had a mixture. I've had some people who have reached out and said, I really appreciate it. Some people you don't even know you're helping, and then months down the line they come back to you and say, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's mostly been, I'd say 99% of the responses I've gotten have been positive. So yeah.
Excellent. How has it like changed you? Like actually like going from it just being like, oh, a little Facebook post to actually making the commitment to it. Like, how has that changed your own perception of yourself and how you show up in the world?
I've learned a lot about myself. Gosh, I've learned about, because I've had an issue with visibility and invisibility for quite a while, and it's something that I'm still challenged by. So yeah, it's brought up those issues, but it's also brought up my strength. For some reason, I was able to. I was in love. There was a certain point where, like, I was in the belly of the worshipping of stretch marks, and there were times when I became a student where it didn't feel like my own words. At sometimes I'd go to a place, or it would come to me in my head, and I'd write it, and I was the student, because I was like, oh, is that what stretch marks are?
Wow.
So I've learned more about myself, my strengths and my weaknesses, and I've also learned about people as well. Because sometimes I take the celebration out into the, I don't like to say real world, because I think the online world is real as well, because they're real people. But when it can be something as simple as, like, I've got a stretch mark, I've got this badge. Oh,
I love that.
Thank you. So it can be something as simple as just wearing this badge and hopping on the tube, on the train, and that's it. Just like communication, you don't even have to say anything. Yeah. And I feel that it changes the energy of wherever I am, because I get reactions as well, like different reactions. From like smiles to people who don't believe what they just saw, to people who ask me, why do you celebrate stretch marks?
Like, and what?
And I was having a little conversation. Sorry?
I said, and what's not to celebrate about them?
What is there not to celebrate? I mean, I can't remember the question, sis.
No, about how it's changed you, but it's interesting that I guess it's interesting because we're so conditioned, and I don't even know where that conditioning came from, but we're so conditioned to think that something that actually happens, naturally, like literally, that is evidence of growth and expansion, that we would actually feel the need to be ashamed of that.
I'm sometimes I think to myself, who was the first person to ever see stretch marks? And what do they think? Because this whole nurturing of insecurity, because it's something we've been taught. Mm-hmm. We didn't just wake up one day, like when I was born or as I grew up, I didn't think to myself there was anything wrong with stretch marks. So it's something we've been taught and it's something we've internalized. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I think to myself, who was the first person that saw stretch marks? Have stretch marks always been celebrated? And at what point did that start turning around?
Wow.
And then it became a shameful thing, something to hide. Yeah. Like putting a butterfly in a cage.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is a learned behavior. I'm trying to think of my own stretch mark experience and whether I don't think I've never, that not that I could remember. I don't remember being ashamed of my stretch marks, but I will say that what I do remember is when I was pregnant with my daughter, I remember being proud of the fact that I only got 3 from pregnancy. Like the ones I already had some though. So let me just clarify that. I had some already that existed, but I only got 3 new ones in being pregnant. But I'm not really sure. And I think that messaging came from hearing other women being so mean to themselves about what their post-pregnancy belly looked like. And and so I think there was like this idea that I didn't want my post-pregnancy belly to be ugly. And again, I had a pre-pregnancy belly anyway. So it wasn't like I didn't, I was already full figured before I got pregnant. But it's so interesting that I think that it was definitely hearing the messaging around I know women that refer to like their post-pregnancy belly as brains. Like I've got brains now because, it's kind of squishy or whatever. And at the same time, it's like, how could that be a bad thing when you've like created this miracle, literally like a miracle happened. And now you're like mad because you're not the same as you were pre-miracle. Like,
but you're not the same.
Not at all. Like your body changes, but I mean, you change on a cellular level. You change the way that you look at the world. You change the way you move through the world. Like everything about motherhood it alters you. So I think that it's interesting that we've got this idea that that our physical body shouldn't be altered, even though it's like a really big deal. And that's true whether you have kids or not, because even not having kids, like the fact that your body is growing and changing all the time. And for us to have this idea that it's supposed to, even though we're growing and changing, we're supposed to look the same.
I know it's almost like the body is sending a message saying, I'm still here. Mm-hmm. I'm still here. I see you and I celebrate you. So I'm going to create art in your honor. Like, nothing stays the same. Nothing. Everything changes. Even like you might not see it for some things, like this pen, but the pen isn't the same pen that it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. So everything changes. So I think it's just this. It's the pressure that's put on women to stay a particular way because women exist for other people apart from themselves. So you have to look a certain way so that we still approve of you because this is how we want you to be. You're not human, you're ours, you belong to us. and this is the shape that we want. These are our rules, and these are the rules your body needs to shape itself into and maintain. And if you get past a certain age, we don't, you know, we sucked all the juice out of you. We don't want you anymore. If your teeth are a certain way or a certain color, or don't speak a certain way, or don't sit a certain way, you know, women, and I'm not saying it's a global thing, but I feel that, well, there must be some places where, because what are we, because I'm thinking to myself, women must have been celebrated at some point. Bodies, men and women's bodies must have been celebrated at some point, because then what are we drawing the need to go back to celebrate ourselves? What are we drawing that from? Mm. So there must have been a time when stretch marks were like celebrated, like every year or every new moon or every full moon. There must have been a time when it was celebrated, because then what is the basis of us? I feel that, well, let me speak for myself. I feel that in that I came into this life to remember who I am.
I feel the same way.
What's your star sign?
I'm a Libra in every sense of the sign.
I'm a Gemini. So yeah, I'm thinking, okay, I need to look us up. But yeah, so I think if I'm, because there's a part of me that feels like I used to celebrate stretch marks in the past life, because there are just certain things that I know that I don't know that I know. Mm-hmm. So I think part of us wanting to celebrate our bodies is us wanting to remember who we are and who we've always been. So yeah.
And I guess kind of like releasing, like at some point in our early development, we probably unknowingly shackled ourselves with all of this insecurity, and it was completely based on behavior that was unintentionally modeled for us. And then we get to the place where it's just like, this isn't working because it feels shitty. And no one wants to feel shitty. We gravitate toward shitty because we're familiar with it, but it doesn't feel good. And I think, and it's unfortunate because some of us do come to the awareness before others, and maybe that's so that we could light the path and help other people to remember also. So I love that I love that this is so particular. You know, like I love that you have focused on a particular piece of body shaming. And it's one that isn't, again, it's not like talked about like that. You know, people talk about body type as a body shame thing, or being too small or too big or too whatever, you know, or playing small and playing big as a result of being too small or too big. But like no one gets really specific about, because the stretch marks is like a universal thing. Like it isn't about size, because not that body shame has a body type, because it doesn't, but stretch marks isn't about size one way or the other. And it's not about
they're indiscriminate.
Yeah, it's not.
Stretch marks are indiscriminate. They love bodies. They love bodies. You have a body, bam, stretch marks.
Yeah.
They don't care. As long as you have a beating heart and blood through your veins and a body, they're going to glorify you. And like there's a lesson there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about your own personal experience with body shaming, and what was that like for you?
I remember when I was really young, because I used to live in Nigeria, and the landlord's kids used to tease me. And it's interesting, like the things you get teased about are really your strengths. Because I've noticed there's some people, like some celebrities, where they say the thing that they were teased about is what made them famous. For me, it was my legs. They used to call my legs okuji, which means yam legs.
Oh, I love yams, by the way.
Yams are like the gold of where I'm from, like Igbo tribe. Like yam is like gold. It's like a staple. It's like it can be used as an offering. It's like a staple diet. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to eat. So, but they used to call me yam legs. And also they used to tease my upper lip, because there's a dip in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to tease me about that and say, oh, you can put a whole bucket of water in there. Like,
oh my goodness. It's so interesting. Like, do you know how many women would love to have a dip? They draw it on.
I know. So those are my first memories of being aware of my body in that way, because I was just a girl. I was just doing my own thing. Like, then for someone to pay attention to me in a derogatory way,
mm-hmm.
you know, and to become aware of certain parts of my body in that way, they're just my legs.
Right.
You know, it's just my mouth. I used to say I love you. I used it to eat. You know, I was the last born, so my dad would give me his food as well.
Mm-hmm.
I used it to eat. I used to say I love you. I use it to cuss out my brothers if I need to. And then you're gonna come and tell me that, like, be specific, not even my lips, you know, just the dip in my lip.
Right.
They were creative. So that body shaming wise and being aware of a part of my body in that way, that's one of my first memories. And then I also remember when I was older, I think I was in my late teens or early 20s, I remember getting ready to go out. You know how you'll go out. I was gonna go out with my best friend, and you go through so many dresses and clothes, and you decide what you're gonna wear, and then you play music, you make up, you do your hair, you know, that kind of thing. And then we were finally ready to go. And as I walked into the living room, a loved one said to me that I looked like a hoe. And what I remember what I was wearing. I remember the outfit. I remember it was a nice outfit too. It was a striped cream colored dress with short sleeves, whatever neck, like that, a curved neck. Yeah, it wasn't dipped at all. It was a nice dress. And it was just above my knees. I remember it was just above my knees. And when I came out, the minute I came out, and I was with my best friend, the minute I came out, my brother said it in Igbo, so my best friend didn't hear what he said. He said to me, "Idika shower."
Wow.
And I just turned right back. And changed my clothes.
Wow.
So yeah. Those are some of the distinctive ones I remember, because that hit me hard as well, because nowhere in my head was I thinking there was anything wrong with what I was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And then to come out and be told that, and I know what I was wearing. And the thing is, even if I was wearing revealing clothes, so what?
Right.
Yeah. So what? But like, yeah. So yeah. And then as I've gotten older, there've been people that have commented on certain things, like an ex told me that when I smile, I look like a horse.
I think your smile is amazing, by the way.
Let me just sit here for 5 minutes.
You've got a
Thank you.
smile. And even more than that, like, your energy is illuminating. Like, it's so, like, I can feel it all the way over here.
Oh, thank you. That's because I'm behind you. Your smile, my smile is your smile.
Well, I receive, and it's so wonderful to be a reflection of you as well.
Oh, thank you. Shall we dance? No. So yeah. So I remember my boyfriend saying that when I smile, I look like a horse, and yeah, that stayed with me for a while, because whenever I take pictures, I look at because my gums, when I smile, my gums show like at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And when I take pictures, I used to be conscious of that because of what he said. But then on the other hand, A male teacher of mine said that where he's from, women whose gums show like prominently when they're smiling is considered attractive.
Wow.
But I listened to my boyfriend because he was my boyfriend.
Right. It's interesting how like these different, how things shift from like culture to culture. So like shame is not like the type of shame, and the spotlight of shame is not the same culture to culture. And you know, and there were times when like being voluptuous was like a sign of health and wealth. And you know, so it changes with the times. And
the location.
I'm hopeful that there are places that still exist where bodies are just still celebrated for being bodies. I'm really
for being bodies, because we overlook the fact that our bodies are miracles.
Yes.
It's such a gift to exist in this way, because we've always existed, and we will always exist, because nothing really goes anywhere and it goes everywhere.
Right.
So like, I can't remember what I was saying. I've lost myself in my tangents.
Well, like bodies are a miracle. And it's interesting because we get so caught up in picking ourselves apart and so focused on what we aren't, that we miss like the biggest piece of what we are, and the fact that just everything that the body can do, just that alone, like it's so improbable. Like even if you get it on a logical level, like you really can't wrap your mind around everything that's happening in your body in any given moment simultaneously without you having to consciously think about it. Like just that alone is amazing.
You just have to be.
Yes.
And everything that the body does is doing for us. Like how planned were we?
I love that. How planned were we?
So it's amazing. Not all of us, but like even I do it myself. I overlook the fact that, okay, I might pick on my stretch marks. I might pick on this, my breasts that are flatter than I'd like them to be. I might pick on this, I might pick on that. Some days I have those days. But like, if I draw myself back, and look at this body, this shape, these lines, these curves, this function, this love, this dedication, this experience, this gift. Wow. Like, how fortunate are we to have this experience in this creation called body? But then the definitions come in. This body must do this. This body is this, so it is this. This body is this, so it's male. This body is this, so it's female. As female, you must do this. As male, you must. And it keeps on getting divided and divided and divided and divided till you're in prison.
Yes. And it's the worst kind of prison. To be in a prison of your own making, in the confines of your own mind, is the worst kind of prison there is.
A prison within a prison.
Yes. You know, you just speak so profoundly.
Oh, stop it.
Yes, like you just, like you are so on point with every single point.
Thank you.
You know, I'm inspired. I'm inspired. I'm never speechless, by the way, but like, I'm so inspired. Like I'm ingesting that because I feel that. And I mean, I see the division, and I've seen the way I've done it to myself, you know, and even in ways like I've never looked at myself and thought, oh my God, I'm hideous, I'm so ugly. But there are things like when I'm unconscious, I might pick something on my skin, particularly if I'm tired. And it's like, where did that come from that I keep picking and picking and picking, you know, unconsciously and unaware of the damage I'm doing to my temple every time that I do that.
I used to do that. Let me show you some. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see? There's a mark here. Yeah, it was a lot darker. a lot darker. And my mark, I used to pick on it. Like every time I was stressed or bored, I'd pick on it, and it was my ice cream. And I did that for 20 years.
I'm guilty. I'm a skin picker. I've gotten better.
You're not guilty.
I've gotten better.
You're not guilty, sis. You're not guilty.
Thank you. I needed that.
Yeah.
I'm better at it when I'm aware of it. You know, it's when I'm unaware. But when I'm unaware, that means that I'm not present. You know, because that's the only time it can happen is when I'm not present. I do struggle with presence when I'm physically tired. You know, but that just means that I am struggling against allowing my body to rest. And that's why I can't stay present, because my body is asking me in those moments. It's asking me to allow it to be still. And because I'm trying not to do it, that's when I get really unconscious and I start picking something. So
you're not letting your body take care of you. You're not letting yourself be you're not letting yourself be taken care of.
Exactly accurate. And while I'm light years better than I was, I'm a long way. I'm still the journey. But you know, it's so interesting because even the shitty parts of the journey are so important. Yes, I know about picking my face when I'm stressed too. I do that. Look, I'm reading the comments. I do that. Yes, I do that.
Oh, the comments.
Yes,
Sorry.
Yes, I'm so guilty of doing that. But I'm so grateful that you brought that up because, you know, it's not that I was unaware that I was doing it, but I hadn't really looked at it from this view. Like I couldn't see it this way until today.
And you know what? Shit makes things grow.
Well, you know, literally.
It's manure. Yeah, that's trees. Trees are thankful for shit. You know, plants are thankful for shits. Shitses.
So we have to start being thankful for shit too. And you know, and there's some beautiful. I'd written a newsletter not too long ago, and I'm trying to remember what I said about it, but there's like really profound something to be found in the middle of the shit. Like you know, and sometimes we stand in the shit and pretend we don't smell it. And that's when we're missing out, you know, but if you can stand in the shit and smell the shit, yes, that's the only way to move through the shit.
You need to do like an image, like smell the shit. Smell the goddamn shit.
Smell the shit. It's important to smell the shit. And not to mention, even just regular evacuation, like getting rid of shit is good. You know, and if you look at the shit, then you can see, like, the shit will actually tell you what you need to change. Like,
there you go. Like do like a hearty shit. You know, it's good for you. You feel once the shit is we're not talking about stretch marks anymore. Sorry, but once the shit, it is true. But once you've done, like, you've taken a hearty shit before, right? and there you go. And how you feel, it's almost like there's some gospel singers in the bathroom with you just singing as you're taking a shit. You know, shit is important. Shit is important.
Yeah, you know, it's so interesting. Like, once you let it go, like you literally feel the shit from the shit, right? Like you feel the release. Like your body immediately feels different. Because you let it go.
It does. That is such a good analogy. Like when you're holding on to shit, after a while the shit your body takes control and needs to expel it. So you can't hold on to shit for too long because nature will do its thing. Well, let me
tell you, I just had I did a workshop before the holidays, and there was a woman there, and she was talking about, like, no matter how much, you know, greens she ate or dieter's tea, like she had such a problem with constipation. And I asked her, what are you holding on to in your life? And she said, everything. And I said, because you won't let shit go, your body can't let shit go. Like, because everything that shows up in our body is showing up in our life. Like, it's such a reflection of, you know, everything that we're doing, like the thoughts that you have, you know, you get tension in your shoulders because you're carrying too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's all, it shows up in your body, but it's your body, and the aches and stuff is really just a metaphor for everything you're experiencing in your life, if you allow yourself to see it. But, you know, the more we hold on, the more we carry, like, it shows up. You know, people with sore throats, they usually struggle to tell the truth. You know, those people that always seem like they're hoarse, their voice is raspy, but they struggle to tell their truth, to speak their truth. And so it shows up here, like everything that we do, if we get in touch and we pay attention, our body is telling us the story of what we need to do to really live an empowered and a pleasurable life, because pain is not a symptom. It's a signal that change needs to happen.
I hear you.
Yes,
sis.
it's so and that's just another one of the amazing tools of the body. The awareness, like your body is always aware of wherever you are. And
the body never shuts up.
It will tell you, and if you don't listen, it will yell. You know, it will yell, and you know, when we get like these major or these chronic illnesses, that's like literally your body yelling and trying to get your attention, and until it can't, you know, and it'll do it until it can't.
It will root for you. Yeah, your body's your biggest cheerleader.
All day, every day. It's a beautiful thing. I feel so nourished.
Do you know what oh, bless you, sis. Like, you know what? I was nervous before I came on, talking about shit. I did a shit before. Seriously, like about half an hour before, because when I get nervous, my bowels start to sing. So I dropped some knowledge in the toilet. And do you know what really helped? Things messing up in the beginning when you couldn't hear me, because I was like, the 5 minutes, it's almost like just before you go on stage, you might be surrounded by people or you might be on your own, but either way you feel very alone. And I felt like, oh God, 5 minutes, like, oh, there's nothing I could do. It's coming. This baby's coming. Yeah. And when I tried to call in on Chrome, and I couldn't hear you, I forgot about my nervousness.
The universe always delivers, right? Everything that we need right on time, every single time.
Do you want me to read you something about stretch marks?
Please.
Hold on. Oh, but the thing is, it's in a different window.
That's okay. Yeah, I'll still be able to see you.
Oh, you can? Oh, but I won't be able to see you.
No, it's okay. I'll just be looking at you.
But can you see me? Because I'm in a different, I'm in Chrome now. Can you still see me? See you. What am I doing now?
Buggy eyes.
Okay. So there's this that I wrote, gosh, we're in 2016. Okay, I wrote this in 2014. And it's, okay, so who says your stretch marks aren't jewels? Who says they aren't glitter trails? Who says divinity does not breathe through your stretch marks? Who says life does not admire herself through your stretch marks? That planets do not align along your lines? Who says your stretch marks aren't your way home, aren't living prayers, aren't love letters? Who says your stretch marks can't take you to the moon? Who says they do not contain libraries of divine knowledge? Who says they do not worship you? Who says your stretch marks aren't the twinned reflection of lightning, that when you touch them, clouds do not shift in reverence and respect? Who says your stretch marks aren't a network of sacred autographs? Who says they aren't magic? Who says your stretch marks aren't streams of the universe's consciousness? Who says they aren't the manifestation of your very own photosynthesis?
Oh my God, you made me cry.
Like,
oh my
hug,
goodness.
hug.
Where can I share that from?
I will inbox
Please.
you.
Oh my God. Like, first it was just goosebumps and then my eyes filled up.
Oh,
Beautiful. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful tribute to the body, to this beautiful she-ness or he-ness, or
to the prayers in motion that we are.
And that's exactly what we are. This has been so nourishing. Like, that's one of my favorite feelings right now, is to feel nourished and well fed. This has been such an honor.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to thank you because you are the first person. I know Nina, clever name her there. I remember her asking, and I hope you're listening, Nina. I remember her asking me about a year ago whether I wanted to go on a radio show online and talk about stretch marks. And I was so scared. I said yes, but I was terrified. And I was hoping, to be honest, I was hoping it wouldn't happen. That's how scared I was. And it didn't happen because the universe was listening. It's like, things didn't go wrong, it just didn't happen. Yeah. And then a year later, I'm here and you're here and I'm doing it and I'm still alive. The sky hasn't fallen and Nina is still here. You know, so I'd like to thank Nina because she started this. She's the one that asked me whether I wanted to be on the radio show, and I said yes, but I was lying, really. I wanted to be on it, but I didn't want to be. Fear didn't want me to. And I've done it. I've manifested through her and through you. And you are the first person where I've actually sat here physically and we're sharing space and we're talking about stretch marks. So thank you very much. And thank you,
Nina. And thank you for being here, Nina. I'm so excited to have you. This has been, I just enjoyed everything. I could like sit at your feet and just listen. Like,
oh, my feet, my crusty, blessed feet. Yes.
Look, and they are blessed. I really love everything that you've said today. And this is just the beginning, because the message that you have is too big and it's too important to stay hidden behind your computer. What you have,
I saw what you did there.
Too big. You have to. You have to carry this message. You have to spread the word. And your writing is beautiful. So please keep writing. But your speaking is also so profound. Like, I'm so serious. Like, you have such a gift. You string words together so beautifully that you have to share this. Like, you have to share this because people need to hear it, and because you have to get it out of you. Like, you have to get it out of you. And those downloads, they will continue to come. The more you lean in, like those downloads of those moments where when you look back and you're like, did I write this? Like, where did that come from? You know, like those moments where we are just being, and we're in complete surrender and completely plugged into source, where there's no separation, where we're not thinking we're separate from source. Those are the moments when when these profound, you know, lightning bugs of energy come through and they flow through us. And most people call it inspiration. So you have to share. And thank you for saying yes. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for not allowing technology to be the thing, because that was probably a test. Like, let's see if she's really going to do it. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true. I was like, if it doesn't work on Firefox, what am I going to do? And then I started thinking, okay, maybe I could just type something in the message and you just say what I said.
No,
or maybe I could just send and send something via telepathy, like to answer your questions or something.
Right. And the technology piece was probably just Mercury, you know, it's in retrograde. You know how that works out with the internet.
Oh, you know what? Sometimes I believe in Mercury retrograde, and sometimes I'm like,
well, you know, I hear you. I hear you, you know, because sometimes we can lean on it as an excuse for things to not try, you know, or to give up. And so I see that happen all the time, that sometimes we use planetary alignment and the moon and all that stuff as a crutch. And I agree. I believe that we are all, because we are all the same thing, as, you know, the sky doesn't end. There's no up there. The sky ends where it meets the ground, right? So because we are literally swimming in a sea of sky and not the other way around, we are impacted, but we can very easily make it an excuse, because, you know, orcas are impacted by the moon and Mercury too, and they're not laying on the beach someplace talking about, I can't, Mercury's in retrograde until the 23rd. Like,
but I think it's comfort as well, in a way. It's comfort. I believe we're water beings, so we are the universe. And if we are the universe, then we are Mercury retrograde. Yes. So in some ways, we're in control. If we feel, like you said, if you're at one with the source, then you are Mercury retrograde. You are the moon. You are the sun. You are the rain. You are the thunder. You are the lightning. You are the bullshit. Yes. But you're also the light.
You are the excuse. You are the answer. You are the problem too.
Yeah, there you go. So just let it go. Right? Let it go.
Oh, this has been so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. I am excited about continuing to spread your message. You have to inbox me that piece, because I have to share it far and wide, because I loved it so much that it moved me. Oh my goodness. It was, yeah, I feel full. Like, that's my other favorite feeling. I feel really full from this conversation. Thank you.
Oh, I'm a fairly good cook, you know.
Definitely, you serve up the best meals, honey. Let me tell you that you are making sure everyone is well fed. So thank you. Continue.
Oh, bless you, sis. Bless you. And I want to thank you for I think you're a connector, you're an enabler, you're a sacred enabler. You allow people to flourish and be who they are. You see the potential in people, and I thank you for praising me and worshiping me, because I'm usually in a position where I'm the one doing the nurture. I'm not a mother. Well, I haven't physically had children, but I have done a lot of mothering, and I usually do the nurturing and the giving and the giving and the giving and the giving. Yeah. Yes. So when someone gives to me the way I give, I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you for doing that. Thank you for feeding me. Thank you.
I am reflecting you.
Just take the compliment. No, I'm joking.
Well, we are one, right? Like, we're the same.
I'm joking. Yeah. I know. I understand, sis. Thank you.
So phenomenal. And I want to thank you all for joining us today for another This Is Somebody conversation. I have to ask you, what's your favorite smell?
Oh, gosh. My favorite smell? I don't know. Bread, mangoes.
Those are good choices. How about your favorite sensation? Like, what's your favorite feeling?
When I go to my really giggly, playful place after 3 a.m.
After 3 a.m.
Yeah, I have a silly place that I go to when I'm really, really tired. And I like that place, because it's like there's no restrictions. I like that place. No judgment.
I love that. And how about your favorite texture? What do you like to feel with your hands?
Myself. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. What do I like the feel of? Gosh, I don't know. I can't answer that, because you put me on the spot. Like, I have this image of dough. raw dough. I have the image of that in my head, that just sinking my hands in.
I can feel that because I know that.
Yeah.
Because I know that.
Yeah. Or those things that you pop that's used to protect items when it's posted. Yeah. I like the sound and the feel and the pop.
Excellent. Those are great. I love to encourage sensation.
Yeah.
Excellent. Those are great things. Like I can imagine all of those things. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you so kindly. And if anyone listening would like to be a part of the conversation, I am definitely open to chatting with you. If you've got a body shame story to share, or how you've overcome it, or anything that has to do with loving your body, I definitely would love to talk to you. And if you'd like to participate in the movement, please share an internet-friendly body love pic. So anything, your favorite body parts, or just if you're taking a selfie and you're feeling yourself, share it on your favorite social media and include the This Is Somebody hashtag. So until next time, bye.
Bye.